I think I'm the top Australian guy anyway. People can think what they want, but me, I think I know that. I've proved that.
Luke, first of all, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate that. I was wondering, what would you like the fans to know about how hard you've worked to get here?
I think it's just a lot of sacrifice, to be honest. You know, the injuries as well is a big thing, you know, across the board for all the guys that race. So they're probably the two biggest ones. But yeah, hard work as well. There's a lot of things that get you to this point. But yeah, it's a sport we love, so we're willing to kind of do anything to get to that point, so it's cool.
Yeah, in doing anything to that point, I know that you had a 2022 and 23 season that were really difficult. Could you remind the fans what you were dealing with?
Yeah, so 2021 I come off probably my best year, and then in 2022 I was probably at the top of my game, to be honest, and really felt like that was kind of my year to keep going and keep progressing and to keep winning, to be honest. And yeah, I suffered a really bad leg injury, and yeah, I was off the bike for about 6 months, and you know, I was dealing with a lot of things with, you know, nerve injuries and you know, numbness in my leg and things like that. So it was a big struggle, but mentally was probably the biggest thing. I was really struggling mentally, but I didn't even realize that in that point of time. And then I tried to come back racing, got injured, broke my arm, and then I come back again and broke my thumb, and it was just you know, one thing after another. And you know, but I feel like now it's kind of taken me, you know, to this long really to get that mental side back. So yeah, it's cool.
I mean, that's being mentally tested so many different times. What was it that helped you get back up?
I think it's just, you look back in the past of what you had achieved and that winning feeling, I guess, and knowing, you know, you can get back to that level that you're once at, and then, you know, being able to race around the world and race against the best guys in the world, you know, you have that motivation. So I think, you know, even when I was laying in the hospital bed, you know, I was thinking, you know, I was winning in Australia at the time and the best guys. So that's the motivation to get back to that point.
I guess behind the scenes, how did you manage that disappointment?
That was the toughest part, you know. Obviously, everyone sees you, I guess, behind the Instagram, or, you know, they don't really get to see you when you're in your darkest days. And for me, there was a lot of them, to be honest. Like, the injury was really bad, and there was a point that I thought I was going to retire, to be honest. Like, I just didn't think I had it left in me, really. But I think my family was the biggest thing, and then my wife as well. She was the one that really was just telling me, you'll be fine and you'll get back to that point. And I think, yeah, family and friends, just everyone being supportive was the bit that got me back.
With that potential retirement, and thinking about that, I mean, how heavy of an option did you, or was there a day where you're like, maybe I'm going to retire, and the next day you're like, nope, this isn't for me?
Yeah, it was mainly in my dark days when I got back home after the surgery and all that stuff, and you know, I was really struggling with my leg at that point, and I didn't feel like I was moving forward with the recovery. And yeah, that's kind of when I did. And then I don't know, it's like the next maybe 2 days later or something, you're thinking, why did I even think that? And then I got back, and then got injured again. So that one I was kind of like, oh, it is what it is. And then when I got injured again, that was when I was like, oh, what am I doing, really? You know, I was over dealing with the pain and kind of the suffering, I suppose. But I guess, I don't know, we're built different, really. Yeah. We think of it for a little bit, and then we just think, you know, when are we back on the bike? So.
Yep. Yeah, that's the life path, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only option. Do you think a world championship would be a form of redemption for you?
Oh, 100%. That would be everything, really. You know, even thinking that is a big, you know, a big ask and a big dream, but I think as a racer and a rider, you know, we train to win, and we train to do the best, you know, we can. Ultimate goal is definitely to to be a world champion, but you know, I'm racing some crazy good dudes, and for me that would be awesome, but just to be here with these guys is a big thing for me.
Yeah, for sure. And what's your end goal? Do you want to prove that you're a top Australian rider in this series, or do you want to take a win against some of the big dogs?
I mean, personally, I think I'm the top Australian guy anyway. You know, people can think what they want, but me, I think I know that. I've proved that. You know, we've been racing in Australia the last, you know, weekend, and I proved I had what it takes to run with the top guys, you know, the American guys. And for me, I think, yeah, I want to go out and battle with the world's best, and I would love to get a couple of race wins and things, but if I can just, you know, ride to my ability, and I think I'll surprise some people, so I'm looking forward to it.
Are you looking forward to battling a specific rider?
It's weird, like there's so many different guys. Obviously we get to race all around the world, people from all around the world, but you got to look at the American guys, you know. I'd love to battle with Eli and Ken. That would be like the ultimate goal, but you know, for a guy that's from Australia, you know, growing up watching them guys on TV, and you know, I still am a big fan of the AMA stuff and the American racing, and you know, I go and watch it at home and sit at home and watch them guys and study all them guys, you know, so if I can be around them guys, that would be cool.
Yeah. Do you think battling against them is really going to push your limits, or are you going to try to push theirs?
It'll definitely be battling my limits, I think. So, but I'm willing to give it a go, and we'll find out how we go.
What would make you most proud at the end of the 24 season?
Like I said before, I think just riding like myself and just putting, you know, 110% in every time, which, you know, I'm willing to do, and just, you know, trying to make the team proud, and just knowing every time I went out there I gave it everything I had.
Yeah.
That'll satisfy me, but I think, you know, I just fighting for podiums and wins and things would be cool, but yeah, like I said, just riding to the best of my ability.
Yeah. Do you envision your results at each round? How do you approach that?
I think you've got, like I've set out some goals, but I mean, each weekend's so different, so there's so many things that can happen with the racing, and how things, you know, pan out, but yeah, I've got a little goal in mind, and I always want to best that goal though.
Okay. Can I ask you what that goal is?
Yeah, for me, it was right around the top 5. We've got so many guys from around the world, so, and you know, we don't get to race them. So
right.
Obviously, with the first time we go out in practice is the first time we get to ride with these different riders and see what they're doing differently, and you know, vice versa. So that's the cool thing about this. I think you see guys on, you know, social media and things like that, but when you get to ride with them, it's such a different kind of ball game. But yeah, I think that's pretty realistic.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much for your insight. Really appreciate it. Our captain Jake here has offered, if you want to try to captain the boat, we can give that a go.
I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
Captain. A lot of trust in me, guys.